of patterns of public safety officer misconduct when brought to the committee's attention by residents of our community. We consider this the most important aspect of the committee's mission. Anyone who has lived on the island for a couple of years is aware of the variety of resident accounts alleging arrogant and unacceptable behavior on the part of various officers under the command of the Director of Public Safety Department, Keith Guerra. The stories we have brought to the attention of Director Guerra over the years are diversified. Blatant rude disrespect and arrogance, profiling and ongoing harassment, aggressive and brutal handling of residents during questioning or arrest, along with the more commonplace violation on a daily basis of our constitutional rights. These repeated occurrences in their various forms represent a pattern, a culture of abuse and an incompetence that has worsened over time, despite a supposedly open dialogue with Director Guerra. Director Guerra's arrogant mentality does not allow him to be open to our feedback. He cannot hear our concerns. His leadership and policing strategy continue to be focused on the reinforcement of his zero-tolerance, maximum enforcement approach, which our community does not feel is warranted here. By exaggerating in conversations and in meetings the presence of gang-related activity, poorly documented with Facebook photos of posing individuals for us, his arguments fall short on proof when our community crime statistics are reviewed. Yesterday, an anonymous counter-campaign of character assassination was launched against Anthony Jones, a primitive flyer similar to information disseminated by Director Guerra in the past, which encourages fear within the community under the illusion of gang activity and danger, was utilized to discredit Anthony Jones. This technique of blaming the victim is commonplace for Director Guerra, seen in his manipulation of facts in the Neil Stuber case and in many others. The flyer was an obvious attempt to divert our attention away from the brutality of Anthony's encounter with the public safety officer, the fact that he was beaten within inches of his life, and that his constitutional rights were violated. These are the facts are clear and simple. These are the issues that we are protesting today. The gang smokescreen isn't going to work this time. We cannot lose sight of our demands. After all, this is Roosevelt Island, not South Central LA or Tony Soprano land in New Jersey. We are here today because our patience has worn thin and we are now ready to demand change. Our meeting with Director Guerra, our letters to the Roosevelt Island Operating Corp requesting investigations have been in vain, failing to result in change. This lack of change confirms and perpetuates our committee's belief that resident concerns are not falling on deaf ears, but instead on ears that support unconditionally the brutality of the Public Safety Department and the violation of our rights. The fact is that Director of Public Safety is fully aware of these events and does nothing to change the pattern, supports our belief. The fact that the Director of Public Safety is fully aware of these events and does nothing to change the pattern supports our belief that in fact he maliciously encourages these abusive behaviors. The brutality and excessive force documented by many residents over the years continues despite our protests. We believe that only a public airing of grievances and increased community control can overcome the isolation and intimidation individuals can and do feel in pursuing accountability and a change in law officers' behavior. We believe that Assembly Member Micah Kellner's Bill A00956 is the first step in institutionalizing the type of oversight required towards this end. For this community, Anthony Jones's story has been a catalyst for change. For too long, many of us have been intimidated and remained silent, fearful of retaliation or slander. Monica Vega, Anthony's mother, has given us all courage. We are no longer isolated. Rather, we are building a movement across race, gender, age, and social class lines. We are no longer in supplicant or pleading mode. We are in a fighting mode. We are not pleading or requesting, we are demanding. Today and for our future. demand a federal investigation into the violations of our constitutional rights by the Public Safety Department. We demand oversight of the Public Safety Department through the passing of the Assembly Bill A00956. We demand the removal of the Public Safety Department leadership, Guerra, Bryan, and Yee, as well as the removal of Officer Ralph Torrens. The officer who brutalized Mr. Jones and who still patrols our children today. Right, we shouldn't be here. This is not the first time, mind you. We have other officers that continued, even when investigations were pending. Rivera, Hernandez, still continue to watch our children, and the children who had complaints against them had to face them daily in their buildings. It's outrageous that they are not removed when pending litigation exists. We have put together a powerful and inspiring program. You will hear firsthand accounts from our friends and neighbors of the injustices done to them, and you will feel their courage, which has inspired us to bring this action of protest today. Let me say on the outside of this peaceful and legal protest, we have organized our own security made up of community volunteers. We want everyone here to freely express your determination, your love for our youth, our sisters and brothers who have come forward to testify, and yes, even your anger at the long-standing pattern of abuse and injustice we are going to expose and highlight today. But keep it peaceful. Keep it respectful and dignified in the spirit of our witnesses. Our security, which is wearing name tags, hands up, security, hands up. These are our security. We'll tolerate no... Frank is our enforcer. No. We'll tolerate no illegalities and no disruptions. If that is your purpose or intention, then please leave now our gathering. Thank you so much for coming. I also, on a note, I want to thank NYPD for coming in and policing this activity. I want to recognize several people who are in the office today in support of this event. Carl Dixon is here today. Carl Dix, who is here today. He is part of Stop Mass Incarceration Network. Norman Siegel, the former head of the NYCLU, sorry, Norman, a civil rights attorney. And Ben Callos, who is hoping to assist our community in the next term in the City Council. Good luck. Okay. At this time, I would like to bring up Makiva and the children. Makiva and the children.